What's up, party people? Welcome back for another Cozy Earth sponsored episode. So excited to be here with you guys today. I have my Cozy Earth sheets, my big king size bed, pillow, bales next to me, and my Cozy Earth pajama set on. It's so funny because I normally do record solo episodes in my pajamas, but I normally don't record them. So I was putting on my pajamas after I got all ready for the recording today, and I was like, this feels so backwards. But honestly, I love it because I love being able to work in my pajamas. Okay, I'm lead genning in my pajamas. Like, who can say that? If you missed our Marketing 101 episode, it is the episode before this, and that is kind of where I talked a little bit more about lead generation, like what a robust part of marketing can be, and like if social media marketing isn't working for you, what else can you be doing? And today I really want to talk about energy because this was actually one of our top episodes on the End in Mind, and I love this topic because I share this with all of my one-to-one clients, honestly, on like a daily basis. Because when you are building a business, it brings up so many beliefs, and it can just like bubble up to the surface, all of the things that you buried over the years. And it can be very, very triggering for business owners. And it can also come out and like repel business at the beginning. And I find so many people do not talk about business in this way. And honestly, it's really upsetting that it's not more mainstream, because being an entrepreneur is one of the most challenging personal development journeys you will put yourselves through. Okay, it will literally change your life for the better, but in the immediate, it can feel extremely overwhelming, and it can actually cause people that don't have like the tools or the support system to go back to work and like not follow through with their journey. And it doesn't mean that that's a bad thing, but it does mean that, maybe if they had the tools or the support, that wouldn't happen so quickly, or they could possibly get like a part-time position, right, to like regulate their nervous system or figure out what works best for them. So when it comes to energy in business, one of the most important things to remember is that a lot of times when we're experiencing scarcity, it is just nervous system dysregulation. And we need to just learn how to calm our nervous system down and not go down the rabbit hole. As entrepreneurs, a lot of you are also highly sensitive people like myself, and we can get wrapped up, right, in all of these like ideas and excitement, and it's like this whirlwind and it's super overwhelming, and then all of a sudden we are feeling swamped. We are feeling like we're not getting what we want or what we desire out of being a business owner, and most of the time it ends up just being the next jail cell that we create for ourselves. That is exactly what we were trying to leave when we left our jobs, or when we left, the traditional lifestyle, right? Because the End in Mind is all about living in the untraditional lifestyle and how to make that work in modern day society, which is not normally the mainstream. So really, when you're able to regulate your nervous system, it actually ends up becoming your best superpower. And a lot of this can be done through different methods. I like to use tapping. My coach uses a lot of tapping, and we actually do it together. And it's very relaxing. If you don't know tapping, I am not an expert in tapping. I'm actually Reiki certified, so that's what I'm going to talk about a lot today. But I'm not like tapping certified. I'm not a certified therapist, right? So we have a lot of therapists on the show. They also normally teach nervous system regulation tactics. And if you need connections to people, please just message me. I find it extremely important to have people to lean on when you are a business owner. You have to have an external person's advice. It can really like adjust relationships in your life because you have to change so much as an entrepreneur for the better, but it can cause like different ripple effects, right? And to know how to navigate those relationships or navigate those conversations, even whether it's client facing or behind the scenes with your team, it's extremely nice to have somebody to bounce these situations off of that has like an overall perspective on what you do and who you are at your core, right? What your values are too. So that's just a quick side note. But I do love using tapping. Reiki is also really great for me. I normally have someone else do Reiki on me, like especially if I'm very dysregulated. I obviously can do Reiki on myself in a pinch, but I also love to go because I find that just like very relaxing. And I get that done virtually because I'm also Reiki 2 certified. So a lot of Reiki 2 therapists can also work virtually. Like we have our extension symbol, I believe it's called. So you can do it online and it's really cool. It's very nice, super amazing. Highly recommend that. Another really great tactic is journaling. Like if you are resisting meditation, most of the time that's because your brain is like overreactive, right? And you just have so many thoughts. Like when you're a business owner, you are thinking about a million things at once. Okay, even last night I like wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh my god, I have to do my Cozy Earth recordings. I have to make sure that this client approved this post. I have to get this post out before 8:30. Then I have to get another post out at 4:30 p.m. Then I have 3 other calls. Then I have another call after that. Then I also need to make sure that I move money from here to there. And then I also need to make sure that Bailey's fed, I'm fed, Sean's fed, somebody's eating, someone's cooking, the house has to be clean. I'm leaving for vacation next Sunday, right? There's so much going on, okay, all the time. And that's why we can get so overwhelmed. When your thoughts, right, start to take over and you're like, oh my God, I have to be doing all of these things and I have to be, focused on this and I have to be focused on this. And then I have to be like, making sure that everything's done for the business. And oh, did I pay my team members? Like, it's a lot, right? There's a lot going on all of the time as business owners. So there's just a lot going on in our heads. There's a lot going on up there. And when we feel this type of like nervous system dysregulation, it can cause, hi Vales, it can cause a lot of scarcity. It can cause anxiety, overwhelm, all of those thoughts going around. Hello, overwhelm out the wazoo. Like so many things can throw us off of our mojo. And what can happen when we're thrown off is that we're not always making the right or best decisions for the business, for ourselves, whatever it may be. I told you guys, she literally loves this Cozy Earth pillow. Watch, she'll put her head on it. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you absolutely have to. It's so cute. She loves this pillow. Look at her looking at me. She hates when I record. She absolutely hates when I record. Sorry, you guys can't see that on the phone. But you'll see it on the YouTube channel. So check it out on YouTube. What happens when we hit this level of like almost like emotional chaos, right? That starts to just like bubble up in our brains is basically we just will try and do some sort of action, right? To like get us out of that mindset. So some people, which I do this too, like will clean, like to try to do a mindless activity. Some of my clients, when they're resisting meditation, which does happen, like especially when you're dealing with something really traumatic or you're just not in that mindset where you feel like it's okay, right, to go like inward and be silent, like that's just not really what's coming up. A lot of people will do these mindless activities where they'll like fold laundry, cook, right, clean the house. And I think that that's a really great segue towards getting back to a regulated nervous system. In my scenario, that doesn't always help my nervous system calm down. That's why the tapping is a really great tool because it still feels like an action, right? Like your hands are still moving. And we do a lot of like repetitive speak when we're doing it together. My coach and I will do like Ho'oponopono prayer. And I like it because we shorten it. So this is normally what we do. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you may want to. And then you can go down here to like, I think we even do it on our hands, which is really nice. You can do it like under your laptop if you're feeling really anxious, like on a work call or something. But again, that's an awesome tool that doesn't absolutely have to be like dedicating 15 minutes towards a meditation, right? So like just being able to utilize nervous system regulation where you can, it will get you back towards regulated, towards your regulated system. And then you'll be able to decide what makes the most sense for me today. Because when we just jump to action, when we're dysregulated, most of the time we won't get the outcome that we're desiring because we're acting out of like scarcity, fear, right? That emotional overwhelm is what starts to come up first. So we're not able to really even get to like the actual outcome that we want because the overwhelm just kind of like takes over. And a lot of what I've been realizing, this has been coming up for me, is like a little bit of self-sabotage in that, because then I'm spending all of this time like lead genning, right? But I'm actually in scarcity, so it's repelling people. We've talked about this a lot on the show over the years, but after reflecting back on those situations, it is kind of like a form of self-sabotage, right? Because it makes you feel busy, and I'm using like air quotes, it makes you feel busy, but you're not really doing anything, right? You're not really like actually making impact on like an area that you need to or that you want to. So sometimes the best answer is to lean into nervous system regulation instead of leading into revenue generating activities, because maybe at that time you are not at your best to be able to produce the outcome that you're looking for. Therefore, if you take action, it could actually end up losing a potential client instead of going into regulation and then reaching back out tomorrow when you do feel a little bit more clarity. So that's why utilizing energy work in your business will help keep you on track, and most of the time also keep you from derailing a potential relationship that would have worked out really well, but maybe they picked up on some scarcity and it totally repelled them or totally shut them down, right, from potentially working with you. So that's why every word you use, every moment that you're communicating with a client, the rhetoric that you're using when you're speaking with your team is so important. Like, it really makes me think so much more about people and how sensitive people are as like a highly sensitive too, and wanting to be open to that, right? And be receptive to, oh my gosh, okay, I wouldn't ever want to cause any type of rift in this relationship. So maybe it's best that I just don't answer right now. Like, I've had relationships with clients where they've been texting me and I can tell that they're really nervous about like putting a video out or nervous about putting themselves out there, right? What I do is, there's a lot of anxiety that can come up with it for business owners, especially when they're first doing it. Or they're just like pivoting or getting back into it. So a lot of what I'll do is I'll be like, hey, do you have 5 minutes to talk on the phone? Because sometimes when we're just texting, like, it's not getting to the bottom of it. So I'll either send them a voice message if they don't have time, or I'll just pick up the phone and we'll just have a quick conversation. Normally it's like 5 minutes, and I'm just acknowledging their emotions. Hey, this is so like normal. People experience this all the time. Just keep telling yourself the first one is always the hardest. And from here on out, it's going to be a lot easier and you're going to be totally fine. This is just a part of it. It's super normal. We'll get through it together. And that's why having a confidant for your marketing is so helpful, because you're not just sitting there in your head, right? Questioning over and over again, should I be putting this video out? Should I be putting this video out? Do I sound weird? Does my hair look weird? Is there something in my nose? Can we edit that out? Does this need to be blurred? Like, right? There's so many factors, so many variables that at times you just need someone to help you stay connected, stay grounded, and really pull you back into that nervous system regulation. That's why I work with so many coaches, and that's why I share with you all what makes an impact on me and how I'm able to stay calm amidst the storm. Because a lot of us can acknowledge, this year probably was not as prosperous as we expected. When I was speaking on a networking call yesterday, it was really interesting. People were talking about how this was the busiest summer that they've ever had in business, and that's exactly what I had. So going into the fall, I was expecting it to be like so busy. Oh my gosh, like, will I even be able to handle this? And it wasn't as much like that. We still had a lot of leads coming in, but normally this time of year is like super busy, super booming. And that's not a lot of what business owners are experiencing right now. Not coming from a scarcity standpoint, but more just acknowledging this is the environment that our clients are currently in. And that's okay, right? Because there's always outlier clients that are always looking to spend money and have it to invest, and they're great and they're ready to go. But sometimes the majority, right, of people that normally would sign on might not be signing on right now because they're a little bit nervous, or they're apprehensive, or something came up, right? Or the climate is changing. So the reason why I like to talk about this is because if we always stay in the woo-woo of nervous system regulation and no scarcity, it can feel a little bit like toxic positivity, where we're like, all we need is energetic management and the business will work out. But that doesn't account for all of the variables, all of the people that we work with, all of the things that are going on in the world. And that should also be accounted for, right? So I'm here to tell you all that there is a way to bridge both. There is a way to look at your energy before you go and lead generate. There is a way to look at the energy of your clients and potential clients, what they're experiencing, acknowledge that, and still not be in scarcity yourself as a business owner. There's a way to hold space for both, acknowledge both sides, and keep moving forward. Because if we continue to go into the toxic positivity, which I see this a lot nowadays, because everyone's like, don't talk about scarcity, like don't even say the word scarcity, right? It can feel like, oh my gosh, I'm doing something wrong. But when you just acknowledge the majority of the world might be experiencing a little bit of scarcity right now, it doesn't feel as scary, right? It's like when you start going to therapy and you're like, okay, I never said that I'm angry before, but like today I finally said it. It's out there. The world didn't collapse, right? Like it's like when you start to acknowledge what's going on around you, it takes the power away, right? It doesn't feel so big. It doesn't feel so scary. It doesn't feel so far away. It's just acknowledgement. Then once you acknowledge it, great. Okay, this is the situation that we're in. We should have saw this coming because of XYZ, right? Again, could be like something's shifting in this market. Like for example, in the car industry, right? A lot of things changed. And a lot of things change just because of different outcomes, right? That are going on, like tariffs and things like that. And that's okay. But as long as you acknowledge it and you know that about that industry, then maybe you start to look at different ideal client avatars at that time, because you're starting to be strategic. And instead of working against that energy of scarcity, you're working with it, and you're starting to see the path of least resistance. And instead of trying to swim upstream, you're kind of just going with the flow, right? You're starting to acknowledge it. You're able to take that in. Then you can pivot accordingly. So it doesn't kind of like zone it out, lock it out. Instead, it's like acknowledgement and then integrating and then making your next decision based off of that, but not coming from a place of scarcity, coming from a place of acknowledgement. And when you see scarcity come up, which most likely will when you're doing a data analysis of the market like this, that's when you utilize your tools. You start to utilize the tapping. You say your Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. That's the Ho'oponopono prayer that my coach and I use. And once we've acknowledged what it is externally, put your hand out there, you say it, then you get back into your Ho'oponopono prayer, you recenter the energy, and you just say, okay, cool, I got it. I acknowledge that that is what it is. Now I can move forward with the information that I have so that I can continue on with building my business. Because you can build a business in any market, right? We've seen businesses come out of some of the craziest markets, right? When you really think about it, and when you think about what they strategically did to get there, it's not rocket science. It's just the path of least resistance. In marketing, we call it low-hanging fruit. It's where is the low-hanging fruit this month? Because every month it's probably going to change because the market changes. So that's just where adaptivity, fluidity is really important when it comes to your marketing, but also important when it comes to your energy. And that's how I like to combine both sides. So it doesn't feel like we're burying our head in the sand, but it also feels like we're able to acknowledge the data, collect the information that we need, and again, move forward with the path of least resistance. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was such a fun series. I had a great time. I know Bailey did because she clearly loves the Cozy Earth items as much as I do. So does Sean. We are obsessed with these sheets. It literally feels like you're getting into a hotel bed every single night when we have them on. I'm actually going to go change ours, throw our Cozy Earth sheets on our bed because I do not want to sleep without them ever, but I had to have them down here in this bag so I could show you guys how great the fabric is for these recordings. And then of course the pajama set, super lightweight, perfect gift for like if you have a daughter, sons. They also have robes. For yourself, treat yourself to these items. They're super high end, really easy to wash, like stay super great. Haven't had any peelies. Like a lot of the sheets that we'll buy, have bought over the years, kind of get those like peelies. Then it can sometimes happen to your pajama sets. Does not happen with these sheets. We've washed those multiple times. No peelies at all, which if you have like the highly sensitive sensories, these sheets are great because they do not get the peelies and it's very soft, but it's not like super soft where it's gonna shut down your sensors or like really make you go a little crazy with some of that sensory stuff for highly sensitive people. So love you guys so much. Don't forget, use code Meraki. It's stackable with every other code on Cozy Earth, so you will get 40% off automatically. 40% off. I'm literally so stoked. So please use our code and enjoy. Love you guys so much. See you next time.